Yeah, what's up? I be that whole nigga named Cornel J in this thing. Yeah, man. Okay. The only whole nigga there ever was, y'all, and I'm proud. Okay. So, I feel like the Illuminati's trying to inch me away from knowing how soul swapping works. So if I forget, then I think they want to soul swap me into a prison body because I'd be wasting mine by dressing up like a female. So I can't really tell you if I still will dress up like a female or not. But when my Chevy Cruze got vandalized on the curb, girl, I had learned how to do under braids on my own shit. So, yeah. So, I finna be a retard every time I keep doing my under braids. Unless it's a Range Rover. So, dude, is this gonna dry? Like, I usually dry my shit real quick and then it's if I wear it. But I'm just lucky it's not, uh, like, mildew right near. I'm just lucky it's still kind of clean. I think I'm just gonna live off bread today. Minnie's gonna heat up some, like, maybe pistachios or cashews and some bread and some woden. But I think we gonna hide today and then I'll save some of my money. That way I don't have to go broke. My direct deposit's gonna hit on the 24th. And that extra $2,000 might do the same thing. I hope they don't wait till next year. I think I know why. Because I'll be alive. I'll be known for being alive in 2026. Because let's face it, they ain't gonna tell me I can't spend my money. And the only way they can do that is the more and more I will go high in my tent and avoid confrontation with any little thing, the more somebody gonna stalk me into like Dollar General or Dylan's grocery store. But I don't really need to buy no Brayton here. And every once in a while, I want to go to Denny's for that $16 triple cheeseburger. I don't order him that shit in my tent last year. It was so good. And then I get the red skin potatoes instead of fries. I never need that library. But I know the little Sam's Beauty Supply where they hit Braden here is. Them women done stole my solar panel and I am so mad. It had to be because they think I'm fucking up their business. By being Asian and black. Okay. And this bread is good. My breath don't be soaking up anything from the tent. I hated that. I'm like, bitch, my shit can't smell like detergent. I'm seeing idiosyncrasies where people from North Carolina, a kid died in Florida. Do I look like a kid, by the way? I've seen idiosyncrasies that are like, mm, that think I'll drive through North Carolina to go through Blythewood into Florida again. So every time that $2,000 tariff deposit is stolen, because I know it'll hit before my regular Social Security deposit, it it's gonna hit before or after. That what I think. Like, I'm thinking if you're in a rental, nobody's gonna be looking for you. Maybe too many people with loans have been getting caught. They're trying to lay loan, so they manipulated me in a way that I wouldn't like post about it every the same thing about the Chevy Cruze to a wit's end, girl. Cause a car rental ain't gonna be looking for somebody to pay the rest of that $30,000 on a car. And people gonna be kidnapped and that shit'll just go right back to the car rental company. And plus, if the Illuminati wants the car rental company to be here, man, it mean they gonna fuck up them car rentals. Next thing you know, death wasn't the worst thing that could happen to you. So, no, I had me some Swedish fish late night and then some of this V8 splage. And I know what it is. Good. Juicing me up like a tiddler. I mean, this does taste like they put veggies in it very seldomly. Like, do they? Because that's what V8 was known for. Water and concentrated juice of carrots. And then vegetable juice. Pears, apples, pineapples. Yeah, you could taste the cherry. I think I just solved what a nuclear fallout was said to taste like. Need I take these hoes to class? Okay. You know, them hoes thinking they being very lucky and disrespectful with them sirens, but I don't need AI to lie about my face reaction and all the, you know. Like, do I even want to go to Dollar General and grab something a little bit more meaningful than this? Cause I'm tired of cold food. I don't want refried beans out of the can with some cheese, but I'm about to Google if I could do that. I think I might Google how you do this. Mm-hmm. Just might. Also, look at this. We wasn't gonna be camping right. Can you see that bush? Oh, but Lord Jesus, can you see that? Well, anyway. Did I turn this on? Cause we got turn the on. Cause I was just showing off that if I keep my Samsung Galaxy S25 Note Ultra, maybe I won't get kneed by a hooligan and break my last form of communication with you guys. Cause I ain't ho shit, nigga. I ain't about to be that ho shit. Yeah, so I keep holding on to the most recent coupon for $5 off 25. Like, have I not been doing that? I think my purchases have been under $10. My purchases definitely have been under $25. Now, if I could purchase $25 worth of stuff and then hold on to that food for 3 days, like, I don't really know what I'd get right now, because it's also gotta be something that I ain't tired of, something that I'm craving, something that'll make me feel fulfilled. So, street cheese every day ain't fitting to pull it off for me. Like yesterday or the day before, I had some carved chicken sandwiches, but I bought the Hottie Bites pickles. And girl, like, what are you supposed to do that with turkey or ham meat, girl? And some cheese and some mustard or mayo or something, girl. Like, yeah, I wasn't even, I had to put together what I, and that's where them hamburger buns came from on site. Girl, when you see them hamburger buns, I had something good. And I haven't made any fires recently. About the only fire I'm fitting to make is where you press that start button in a car if a motherfucker can't buy an EV anytime soon. Because I don't want to go to Overland Park from Wichita, Kansas to get a Tesla. Okay, that sounds miserable already, okay? If I was going to go to Kansas City, I'm going to bring that Tesla back to Lawrence or Topeka. And you know, I'm about tired of doing that shit. Because if I feel I need my rental to come back to, I need to get to Wichita, Kansas myself. And then all I gotta do is be by myself, not boom from people, and I got my social security money. Then, then I come back to Wichita and drop that rental off. But like maybe if you drop it off not at Overland Park, could that where they have the Titlers, and I bet you get to rent the 2025 Titler Model 3 or something. But I'm worried about the Illuminati robbing Hertz to transfer that Tesla into their name when I'm the super sabotaged super victim over here. So obviously I shouldn't work around food. Obviously all lives matter. And a whole lot more than that. I don't feel like a man when I do that. I feel like I love my young gal when I do that. Okay, it don't even matter. Like you know, they be lesbians might understand me or something. Oh, mm. Okay, so let me kind of sit back and zen for a minute. I believe it's Monday the 17th. Just because I think yesterday was Sunday the 16th. And time's moving by fast and not really. 4 more days and it's the 21st. You know, right now I'm feeling like 4 days is kind of really would be cool if I have 4 more days to get to the 24th. Cause my bank they send emails telling me these really neat things, and they're not just spam, but it's telling me this month that my social security deposit is going to be on the 24th, and I've even had it on the 20th before, and it's usually on the 26th. It could be usually on the 25th. And I think it's amazingly before the 26th, if the 26th is on a Sunday or weekend. I'm not really sure. Like, like I'm the kind of person that like I'm not really sure about where all these holidays are at. Yeah, I'm kind of sure February has 28 days in the month and all, but I think I'd be really busy worried about staying a free bird and not a retort. So that what I think the world fighting over. They don't want to know who their victim looks like. They try to do it before they gain an attachment to it. Okay, so I'm like throwing around all these numbers when I actually had a rental at the beginning of November for like 3 days, and I shouldn't have. because it's super convinced the Illuminati that I'm still gonna want to buy me a car if I got enough money. So I get that $2,000 tariff check when I get my $1,000 deposit, and I've got $3,000 right before Christmas, and pretty sure that I won't be going to the car dealership without copping something, okay? I'm pretty sure even if I settle for a 2017 Jeep Overland 4x4, I kind of still want that, but I don't want gas powered car because this is how I grew up. There are like what over 2,000 moving parts in a gas powered vehicle, and that's a lot of maintenance cost. And why do that when the EVs really ain't nothing but changing your tires when they're about to go bald, okay? And I'm at the point where I'm 38 years old and I'm tired of driving all these brand new gas powered cars. I'd rather have a 2018 Tesla Model 3 all-wheel drive long range. Any color. It don't even matter. I think I want it to be metallic blue. Metallic baby blue. But I don't think they even put that color on them. So even when I get that Tesla, I want like the to make that a solid roof with some, you know, custom made aftermarket products. Even put a reflective tint on the top, and then that. Now, I'm not sure if reflective tint is as illegal as dark tint, like black tint. I just know you could go to Bakersfield to have some time off from Hollywood, and they're really like selling window tint for dirt cheap on every corner. So luckily that didn't get me in trouble, but my windows were tinted hella black. And one time I pulled over in Burbank, it had me a meaningful fling with this white Russian dude because his silver Honda Civic was broke down. And it turns out he followed up with me on TikTok after I came back to Wichita, Kansas, telling me like he okay and stuff, but that was at FaceTime, that was on TikTok. So I found out he's a military filmmaker, got all these tanks and his stuff. Didn't know that there was a war going on in Russia since 2014 at all. At all. Did not know that. I found out about a real war in 2022, right after I came back from Cali in 2021 without my Chevy Cruze. So me and Biddy came back, and that was the end of Cali. There's nothing fun about Cali if you ain't got a car to sleep in. Especially Sacramento. It is very cold in the winter. It was actually like December 2nd, 2021, when my car got vandalized on the curb like this. And The cop told me to put the car in the tow yard, and I just told him I would do that, and I ended up leaving it on the curb to sleep in until I found some friends. A friend, she kind of, it was a, okay, so this is, I thought it was a girl who looked like T.I. the rapper. But after a year and she was texting me, she sent me D pics, and I'm like, oh, oh. I remember it like it was yesterday. She had an orange tree in her backyard like it was Florida. Bitch, that was Sacramento, California. So, that little 20-mile-per-hour fender bender only knocked my left wheel off the axle when they came like this, crossing my one-way street. I had a spare tire on. Obviously, I wouldn't speed in. Obviously, I go 20 and a 30, right? You could go 40 and a 60, 40 and a 70, but 20 and a 30 was just how I was feeling. And I got lucky because, we had our ear bag, pillows, and all that. And I think what totaled my car the most was when I didn't listen to the cop. Left the car on the curb, and then people pried my hood open with my own car jack and got to town on it. So, unfortunately, I owed every penny I owed on that car back when, like as soon as I like missed a payment one time the year after I bought it, my $4,000 payment disappeared from my principal, and that's okay, cause guess what? They really gave me 2 years of zero payments, not to make a payment unless I could get back on board. So the money that I was saving, I wanted to get out of that thing with a Tesla, and it was just really hard to do anything to get out of it. And even before, like, why I wouldn't have sold it, that was all because of Cali and how they try not to let you deliver food or something, because what am I gonna put on my car? Bitches, I ain't fitting to deliver food. I'm Uber X. Like, I'll never forget to check that only the Uber X box is selected before I hit the go button, online button, the go online button, okay, in blue, okay? Like, that's what I hate, is there's what I'm flabbergasted about. I mean, I'm not furious. I ain't gonna mean mood. But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell everybody that you know what not to do. And, and I really think all that was just to relieve me of that Chevy Cruze. at your own risk. If it's your fault and your insurance go up, cause bitch, I wanted to sleep in my car and I could have brought it back to Wichita and I could have had it back. But I turned back around in Colorado and went back and then went to Sacramento and then got a flat and drove my spare tire back to Sacramento. And so I want nothing to do with any of that because in the long run, if it doesn't go the way I want it to, then somebody's telling somebody something I don't deserve. And I wasn't born yesterday with that my way or the highway, okay? So, yeah, California ain't ever gonna catch me slipping, girl. Because I felt like it could be because from '07 to 2013, I really just happened to live off of general assistance and food stamps and guys and 20th and K Street gay clubs and maybe working at the bar for a little while, maybe a commission based job, but that was it. I never thought about improving my credit. I couldn't get a car there because I wasn't worried about my credit. I wasted my time for so long. I shouldn't even tell you what I did when I came back to Wichita, Kansas. Okay, because it even took me until 2019 to finally go to Full Sail University, and then the pandemic was trying to make my grades fluctuate by living in the car, and then it's like people's got a non-magical reason for blackballing me out of my Uber shindig. So this time, if I do get a Tesla, if I do get an Uber rental, I can't work for DoorDash. I can't work for Instacart. I done burnt my bridges with them by canceling too many times, and I think my DoorDash account really is just locked into an old phone number. I think it my Burbank phone number, matter of fact, because I was making $400 a night off of DoorDash, and it was enough money for me to think about like how do you use a Turo rental to drive for Uber. But my Allstate, the second policy to Allstate was like free for the first month. But that went bad when I only kept that Turo for a week. And then I owed Allstate for two policies when I really should have owed them for one policy and a week of one. But they wanted proof that the car was about name, and I tried to tell them, yo, it was like a loophole that I wanted the Turo vehicle to do that. And once the North Hollywood tour lot told me that I couldn't use that Honda Accord hybrid to do that, I returned the Honda Accord hybrid and took my Chevy Cruze back off the curb. And so for a while I felt like an outlaw out there, but really it was just like it it was just I never got put over by a cop or anything in Hollywood ever. So that's how I felt like an outlaw, like I could do whatever I want, cause like my main goal was to kind of live the same way Jay Zach was living right now. And then the rapper from New Hampshire or Hampshire, whatever, whatever. Like, yeah, an apartment in West Hollywood, a wham bam to damn car, and just there's a way for me to be just as articulate as them people, okay? Especially with Uber and getting people from point A to B and not being uh, like ever out of a job due to like manslaughter or anything accidental because I paid attention. You don't want to whack a millionaire. You don't want to whack poor people. You don't want to whack a tourist. So really, when I'm doing all this gibberish, it's not really how I think behind the wheel all the time. Because I feel like being behind the wheel makes me not be a snitch more because they're an Illuminati chokehold, death grip, and they gon' know how to put a gay in prison, take them out of their element with the you're behind the wheel excuse. This is a little serious, and maybe we gotta hold you, or maybe you need whatever. I don't know what they do because I usually am an arrested. And when and that's my funny Illuminati slang. I don't even make this up, girl. It's an Illuminati lingo. You'll magically it magically lingers, but it's called arrested. When you get pulled over, but they can't arrest you and they gotta let you go. But when you get arrested, you you're letting them dig in your business and to dig a probable cause to to turn it into something bigger. So that's the slang I think that I like calling it the so mm, I think the worst scenario I had in Sacramento was just I forgot to be like I'm from South Carolina. And because when I explain to these cops, they hear it. And I'll tell you some other examples here in a second. Don't close out of my little YouTube video. But I, uh, do I have to skip to that example already? Okay, here we go. Sacramento. Okay, here. Uh, I didn't have a chance to tell him, hey, like, I'm from South Carolina. And if you've ever traveled across the US like me and you got all the time in the world to find anywhere to sleep, that you gonna notice Arkansas got this Forrest Gunther country accent and it gets proper the more you go east all the way to South Carolina. You got uh, Lucas Black or whatever his name is all the way up to the Kardashian proper slow country. We don't have to repeat ourselves. It's really like being, with your acrylic nails. It just kind of be like Courtney. I think Mason is digging into the weed jar. Like, are you gonna let him do that? Because when Scott does that, he gets kind of paranoid and he takes the Rolls Royce instead of the Lambo. And you know how he gets where he takes the Rolls Royce. Kind of bull like that, BS like that. So Sacramento was a bad experience. I had a $700 toll fee, and I haven't been back to Sacramento since, girl, because it was a DoorDash order gone wrong, and I like 20 times. So I thought to myself, I got a ride share policy. I could let her ride with me and we could stroll and get the correct product. She was okay with it. But I think karma bit me in the behind because when they do DoorDash, they didn't sign up to get into a car with someone. Okay, I am smart. Even, and especially after something happens to me and I think real hard. I think karma bit me in the behind because them people didn't they ain't prepared to get in the car. And even if I got a rideshare policy, even if I work for Uber all the time. So when I got paranoid and I heard her switch talking, I'm taking your car to this and that. And then a little white boy was like, I want that dog. And so I only took a screen print of the DoorDash order I canceled while I was fixing it or something. And then I let her do her business at DoorDash in the store, PetSmart. I went in my Chevy Equinox and I hit OnStar and I was like, yo, like, I heard it loud and clear. She switched talking. She's trying to steal my car. And then when she was walking back to my car, I was like, y'all, come on. Like, can you hang up real quick? I don't want her to know how paranoid I am before I pull the fuse. And I made them hung up, and then I had to get a little gas in the car. Next thing I know, helicopters swarming around. Next thing I know, the GPS was being wonky, so I didn't take the highway. Next thing I know, Magic had a little square concrete right after the highway near Arden Fair Mall. And I noticed the police behind the police, they didn't have any light sirens on, but the police behind the police had their lights on. So I didn't want to act blind, girl. I saw it. I stopped in the lane. I let them talk to me. I played a little dumb about being paranoid. And then they made sure she wasn't getting kidnapped. And then I had to get my dog out of the animal shelter after 3 days in the hospital. After he wanted to mentally evaluate me, thinking, oh, you sound a little slow, whoop-de-whoop-whoop. So I'm afraid that if I go back to LA, they're going to hire him from Sacramento just so he could be the one that kind of saw that already. So, and I think they building up steam, pressure, and I think people are making it look like this. I think maybe the Illuminati's killing off all the good cops, and I'm starting to feel a little bit hostile more about, like, why is this necessary, and that I see what I see going on. Because I was in Alabama trying so hard to get the coordinates to avoid Montgomery in Alexander City, and I felt like a cop heard my GPS said loading directions to Wichita, Kansas. Okay, so at the stop sign, and then I had to try really hard to avoid Montgomery because the GPS thought I didn't catch it. But I look at my GPS like every 5 minutes to make sure that it doesn't change the coordinates on me, and it did. If I didn't notice, I would have been in Montgomery before I knew it, and I think that's the idiosyncrasy that makes them overreact and just get all they bullshit done what they always knew about who, why, what, when, where, and how. So I always think that I avoided Atlanta and I avoided Montgomery and Birmingham reminds me of Birmingham and Michael Jackson's Straight Here that got him in all that trouble. So I think I felt stalked, but uh, but I think I just made sure they didn't catch me tiptoeing off the highway to get extra gas. It took, there, and then there'll be an ambush that flattened my tire at the wrong gas station. That'll have a hotel that make you look poor when you can't go sleep at that hotel after they do something to your stuff. And I'm magical, and I know how magical the world is. So there's technicalities like that. So you got to balance out where you want to get your sleep at before you get too tired. And that was something that was during the day. Like I think they were trying to get me to switch my coordinates and take a non main highway route because I used to do that, but it would put dust on and dirt on your car, and you need a car wash, and money don't buy everything when you need to find you a car wash. Because when my car got stuck in the mud in Toronto, Arkansas, and I was still on my way to Florida, I didn't get my car washed in Winter Park, Florida by Full Sail University, and I didn't get my car washed again until maybe the Georgia Alabama border. On my way back to Wichita, when I was like, I think I'm not supposed to know too much about nuclear weapons and nuclear power plants. And that would be a good reason to replace me and my name with a face that doesn't do all this attention whore stuff. So, yeah, and so I used all my money to get back to Wichita, and I think I subconsciously made it back before my rental was due. Because I had my car towed 2 times, and I wanted it clean before, and then I barely had enough money to clean it all the way. I had to get some wet wipes from Dollar General just to get the vents and the seats and the console. And to be honest with you, I really didn't even have a cup of water in my cup holder at all this time. I was using these in the back seat, the little gallon water, and I lived off of 2 of them on my way back from Florida. Yeah, I think the water was called Niagara. Yeah. So I shouldn't have got water at the gas station because it was within the 200-mile range of a nuclear power plant. And wasn't that not even the one in Orlando, Florida? So my main concern was on my way in there was toll booths. I'm going to want to rent a car and get out of a hurricane, or if I don't have shelter. And 9 out of 10, I am going to be like 3 weeks ahead. I don't want them ambushing me like, oh, you weren't here for the last three hurricanes. Maybe there wouldn't be no hurricanes if you was here. But you want to come to Florida and claim Social Security and go to Full Sail University and try to wing your way off of this disability they claim. And I feel like I'm only worth driving and only worth driving for Uber unless I need to remember all the faces of every Uber rider within the last year, in case dropping them off where they want to be dropped off, that is still like, like, hey, they were in my Uber last night, I should have dropped them off. And then you have information to give to the police. But if not, if you don't remember their face. So I've been winging my way out of Cali and out of places that have legalized marijuana, because I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. Like, I don't do drugs. I despise every one of those. And Wichita, Kansas, and South Carolina did not legalize marijuana, and I love that, and I want that to stay. I'm sorry, even coming from someone who smoked it before. I hate to betray y'all, but there's one thing left. You shouldn't smoke weed until your brain fully develops at 22, and I did not. I might have smoked weed from 14 to 17, and then 26 to like 27. That was it. So that would be like '01 to '04, and 2015 to 2016. So I think that it pisses me off when I'm a snitch, but they need anything they can get from someone behind the wheel. So all they have left is, all the police had left, all they have left is, did the driver get sleep, or does the driver smoke pot? And that's what I've been worried about for 16 years. Like, all that stuff I was talking and being wicked confusing by seeing whether or not what information should be stuff that 2026 should go back into my social media to undo, because 9 times out of 10 they just needed to know what it was, and that could be off top what a retarded snitch is. But I think a retarded snitch is someone who thinks they need evidence, and next thing you know, the idiosyncrasies are a part of your video, and you need to know how to explain it before you won't explain it in court, when they need their victim to be brain dead, and then they paint a whole nother past, and then they make that person seem like they did all those murder spree crimes. But that's only if they can't get the pandemic virus to be what people think happened to people around them that are being pulled under the water like alligators all around us in a Range Rover or not, out of jail or in jail or never going to jail, or let's go ahead and throw some more stuff on you. You already got that kind of stuff on your record. None of that. None of that with me. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. None of that with me. Like, none of that with me. Okay, I'ma deal with my bad credit and none of that with me. Because I am not an adult criminal and I am 38 years old. I've really never been busted for anything other than a little bit of $5 Reggie marijuana back in my teen days. From hanging out with the wrong people is what I feel like I was responsible for, okay? And then my mom and my stepfather using that to so that they don't have to notice me at their own wit, and it would have worked out if I went to Hollywood and never had to come back. It would have worked out. Yeah, it would have worked out. Okay, do you think I should get slapped when I talk like this though? Because there's been some other videos I feel like this and lose track, and I'm proving a point, and you know I'm in touch with my inner thug missus, you know. Like I look pretty with my little star tattoo on, and I color it in, and got my hair and all my looking proper. You know what I mean? Taylor Swift one day, and we rockin' stilettos hoe the next day. Okay, I should get slapped for that. What I should get slapped for is there's a reason why those people don't shave their beard so they don't get little pimples ingrown here. And I was doing that in West Hollywood, and you ain't supposed to use conditioner as lotion. So I felt like the conditioner turned into fiberglass hairs, and I thought it was just dust that you gotta clean every day all day long, and not the kind of dust that come off your skin though. Like we talking Cali dust. But then I can reminisce, and I'm like, it looked like, it don't even look like this. It looked like, it looked like a cringy fiberglass. So I think that Chevy Cruze was gone. And I kind of wish they had deep cleaning at the dealership more, and not Stanley steamer trucks trying to get hint to you to call them. But I I would have cut the carpet out where I spilt that cup, and I would have done Stanley cleaner, and I still don't deliver food. And my dog would have cleaned the dog it were and still right here. She took showers when I took showers. I tried not to go to hell for rinsing all of the natural oils out of them because only humans produce natural oils until they wash like 5 times a day, and then you get to where I get, and that's where your dark spots can't lie. That you overdo your shower routines and rinse all your natural oils out, and maybe you forget to use your lotion too, whatever. But I was using Kylie Skin and milk toners and walnut scrub everywhere, on my tip of my dick, on my butthole, behind my ears, on my tattoo, on my feet, on my knees, on my elbows, on my arm, on my wrist, on my palms, on my lips, on my butt cheeks where you would sit on a toilet, uh, under my arms where you would have uh, heat rashes, and anywhere that the heat rashes are is what absorbs your moisture the most. So you gotta allow moisture to go in by exfoliating. You want to use less soap, and I think it mattered more on my feet to use cold water if you're gonna shower that much. So my feet always looks like I'm gonna get slapped for no reason in public when I want to be gay and I'm not taking care of my feet. So I usually wear shoes until oops, I've been wearing them like flip-flops. I better do because it's been doing this. And that kind of hurt. That little carpet burn effect hurt. So, and it was on both. Girl, can you see this one already almost gone? Like right now, my stuff look dry, but it don't itch. So I'm getting my natural oils from the inside out, and once I'm done doing this, I feel like that what the Illuminati do to people who are gonna itch. You just gotta know what you gotta do to stop your itching. And I'm gonna tell you, it's like heat rash. Like this might look like I should go and die. It's not too late, honey. It is not too late, y'all. And even my singing voice could be like like there's something missing about how consistent and natural I feel. And so I learned, like, I want to live on my coast where I'm from, South Carolina, Atlanta, Florida. I don't even want to go to like Cali to do shows or anything, because it's a proven fact that by the time I get to the West Coast, you'll notice that all that hydration from the humidity just rubbed off the next day or something. So your voice will probably never strain in South Carolina is the and you could drink less water on stage, because right now they already saw how Lil Nas X went to the bathroom with the microphone. And that was funny for him, but it ain't funny for me when they see how I do it. Because you're supposed to be presentable. People are supposed to be thinking about tapping that ass on a clean butthole. So that's how I feel that the Illuminati still knows that their victim will be a retard when they get famous. So what a chilling afternoon. Like I think I got maybe a couple of hours to find out if the sunlight is good enough for me to take a shower. Oh yeah, I had to put silicone glue on this, so this is no good right now. That disappeared, and this leaks now. I was kind of just putting the cap slightly open so I could drip it and squeeze to get more out of it. So you're basically wasting less water. I think I'm gonna keep this in here just as an emphasis, just to emphasize that I do be cleaning myself when I'm homeless and stuff. So, see, I think they're gonna use that dump dump with the construction zone to threaten their victims. Uh, that 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 people shouldn't be homeless or they'll flip the switch. So it's only 10:47. The sun would have came out at 10. I hate it when you sleep in a gas powered vehicle and you gotta crack the window until 10 o'clock. The temperature could be 72, but once the temperature is 73, you gotta crack the window. Get the rest of your sleep or wake up. So that was how I was doing. Sleeping at the Planet Fitness in Burbank, California, on I think it was like Sheridan Oaks or Sherman Oaks. So I think the Illuminati thinks they could tell you why our glance is stuck, but that's bull, boo, boo. Because Sophia Fresh over here, okay? You know when it's taking you too long to stay fresh again? Or it's taking you too long to get fresh again? Saturday, November 22nd only. Wait a minute. I'm about to go see if I could use this right now, 5 off of 25, because it was all year round. And I would just be a fool to save all the 20 receipts that I hear. I'm gonna save up some food today so I ain't gotta walk to do that food truck thing because I just realized they make food trucks look Mexican. And I think in order for them to brainwash me into a retard and make it look like it's something that was my fault, uh, they do it through taste the most. So I had a Mexican person tell me up the street across from the laundry station, that are you sure you want to eat here? And I kind of think they were hinting me off about, it's not good for dogs. So I, I, I really think that Mexican people food is being sabotaged to where it, I wouldn't want it to hurt my dog, and it kind of just makes you spend your money like like it'll never run out. So I think that the Illuminati would try to make me a retard by making the money run out, or by turning me into a retard before I get to spend the money. It's just some wicked confusing uh, a thing the Illuminati has between each other, where you need to know the whole story before you could heal, or so you could stay alive to do something about it. And so I'm gonna basically say this right now: it child molests. So they don't want to tell you that they outraged the law and the army over child molesting. So so that would be the major discovery, that they won't tell you how that's not more important than what their Range Rover does to people. Is uh, like you're really fucking screwed if you molested your baby nephew or a boy, to the point to where I don't even think they molest little girls. And by saying that, shit, I guess I wasn't looking out for little girls as much as I should with that little bit of knowledge. But I've been all around the country, and I don't just get hit by a car the second I say some shit like that. For 16 years now, so just want to emphasize that I'm still definitely not everything a child molester does. Well, oh, 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 oh. I ain't even got a crochet hook. I don't want anything that pokes or insinuates it. But this is my view right now. Yeah. That the wind blowing. That the color temperature outside. That would have been kind of like where I would have been camping, like right here. But I don't want the rest of that to come down. And then that could be firewood, and then we stay away from the over the and then nobody should be going through this field really. I learned the history of it. It's kind of behind a storage unit that I don't think is open 24 hours. And then when I started thinking about doing a storage unit, it was actually more up Harry towards Rock Road. Harry and Woodline. I've always been skeptical of over here. Sometimes I think oop, sometimes I think a retard just taking a stray too far from their childhood home. So I'd rather just not. So this is what I was doing at first. I think I was braiding into it, over braid, and then lock that in without gripping scalp here for the braid. And then just for a quick fix, I just want that hair to be as thick as that strand and that. And then the one with the braid becomes the middle strand. And then I twist 2 times to make that secure with my hair being short as it is. And then I just do how I feel until my hair gets an even long length where it actually is as long as the braid going down to the hang time ear. But for right now, I'd be getting scared. I want my overall hair before it ever gets ripped out by some Tasmanian devil. And I know my life better than others, so I'm gonna feel guilty that maybe some random wicked screech will think that they're poor because until they bash somebody like me, that would I be afraid of. They're poor until they bash their victim what I think they be jibber jabbing the gas pedal about. And as you can see, I am not already a retard because I'm sure I wasn't gonna plead not guilty one day. Ah, man. Swedish fish done rubbed up against my little back pit looking like a spleen. So I guess I have some water in here and some soap over here. And the camera over here. And my iPad where? Because all my other gadgets is on this top bunk. So I'll just do these, you know, like. And then you know I write shit on my backpack like which brew evidence sabotaged, flowchart hooligans, which brew evidence, flowchart Illuminati, try to make me a retard, blah blah blah. I think they need to pitch their victims off as they became retarded for being a super criminal that accidentally got hit by a car uh, from exposing themselves to. But so the idea is to know your life better than others, and then how many people hate you and for what, and just automatically assume it. Shit, I sure didn't think I was a child molester paranoid. I I thought I wasn't gonna be known for snitching on Range Rover. And then they accuse them people, they don't know why they wouldn't have snitched on Range Rover because they really are. And I'm scared of black Range Rovers the most. I remember I was delivering food in Clinton, Tennessee, and she magically bought 2 glass containers of oil, olive oil, something, grapeseed oil, something. I dropped one, and she automatically said, if I had known you were gonna say that, I would have sprayed acid on your face. I think it has something. That was in 2023. I think she just now said something to me about something in 2011 when I shot in my second Range Rover. And it was silver, and I knew I was gonna be spending the night and jizzing a guy in Hollywood Hills. I don't know if I sounded like an animal when I said it like that, though. My ass would have been no more special than Miley Cyrus if I had owned one of those things. Let me put that on there. And, and oops, when they jibber jab the gas pedal, I usually just I'm gonna do my trick right here. Y'all see all that? It's supposed to help her not do that, but she's trying to. She's not trying to understand that if we got it right on the first try and she wasn't so resistant that she'd not cough. She'd not come. Okay. And in order for her not to cough, you gotta have their mouth horizontal. You can't let them lift their chin. It gotta be like. And then she be too busy fighting me. Uh oh, there go that sun, girl. Girl. I had to eat the salt with the rest of these cashews. Cause that good. I think it's about time to burn some trash, or I want to wait until the winter. I'm gonna get a clay pot to burn trash in, and most importantly, I want to make sure that they don't destroy my stuff like they've done before. Because I feel like when I got permission that that somebody's not telling me what was going on with but I keep bringing it up now, and it was just really something I put a whole lot of snitchy stuff on. Like which brute evidence, hooligans trying to make me a retard if you find me dead over here or something. I think that tree will come down on this side too. Biddy, don't end up a smart ass and look at what I'm looking right there. Okay. That shit sounded like a thunderbolt when that started breaking apart. And that is a big trumpet. And I think we would have gotten tapped by the very end. We were right here. This was the area I came to looking for some type of wood to burn, but the wood was scary looking. like alligator scales and stuff. Like I was like, I couldn't do that for long. Yeah, I'm probably the dumbest motherfucker with a campfire because I really just took some wood and put it, three of them, the ends together, and I just made a fire with my one man tent and mini, and I had like, I had two or three. I sewed them into each other. So there was no way something creepy could get in there in our sleep. And it was really gross looking to do that without like bricks or a clay pot or a grill or something. So uh, it'll make you itch if you do it for too long. And I think the wolf spiders will dig a hole right under it looking for heat. So yeah, I've seen this place for a whole year and I kind of know what happens, like with spiders or rabbits or nothing too crazy. There really shouldn't have been a deer over here, but I think somebody got a deer over here one time and me and Minnie got on top of my little plywood contraption. Luckily that was sturdy enough because by the time I moved it over here when this wouldn't close down with firewood and hay, like hay barrels, hay balls, hay stacks. I don't remember what you call those. But yeah, my little area over there, that with the cement cylinders, that was where I was burning my trash. Now everything's green again. It's about to snow, and I want to wait for the snow to burn trash. And I think this area will be big enough for one of them blow up tents with the furnace window, so you can put just like a furnace in your tent sealed, and then I'm gonna have a small tent in there. Maybe that one is gonna feel like a one bedroom apartment. And so I learned from this gay YouTuber. I think they were traveling up by the Wyoming and Montana area. You know, he's a hot young guy when he has a mustache on. And then his guy was hot. You know, I would have got laughed at going with the older guy first real quick, right? But it don't matter. It was whatever I chose. Way better than nothing, and what I chose not to turn sour about. But like, no, that's just me playing my game with myself. I think you're supposed to lit the furnace off the brand new like chemical paint that's on it, and I want to get a steel colored one. And see, if I don't stop moving my lips, this crack in my lip ain't ever gonna heal. I'm thinking about doing that the most because I'm gonna save up $1,200 a month, sitting on $3,000. I'm gonna have a solar panel. I think I'm gonna rent a Blue Eddy instead of buying one because I think this stuff right here would be a good way to put something down to it that I don't want stolen. like a locker of and and then maybe I'll have another year to do what I'm trying to do, or I've got enough money to figure it out. Cause I definitely ain't doing that on William Cornelius Road in South Carolina. I guess it was all about me not wasting the family's jizz by being a Cornelius biologically and knowing damn well I'll never go straight. So if I prove to my father that she wasn't just with some other niggas when I was a baby, then I won't have to worry about how that neck of the woods are gonna own me on every mile marker on I-20. So my dad's a refueler truck driver. He went and got him a GPS dot blue semi true, and I want to boast about it because all the stuff, and I got good memory about my mom got good memory about him trying to, scrap the fetus of meat. So I had to explain that to that's between you and her. Like, I don't care. I made it here. You're exonerated. But no, I think they trying to blah blah blah. So you know how creepy that is. Evan was over there. They were putting white clay on a tire. There were two extra bright lights back there. They were kind of affecting the front yard by going like the radiation was just still making me flinch a little. So I put her in the car and then we left. 'Cause I wasn't gonna sit there and BS with my dad. Some type of ick, or what do you call them, preachers? Gonna make me explain everything with I'm gay. And then his name is Willie. And you know he gonna be thinking of me as a retarded Willie. Maybe I really just trailblazed through my last encounter with South Carolina. Oh, oh, well, man, there might be everybody in the world that knows why I was born in a military base in South Carolina. I'm gonna act guilty like they know that, and I'm just gonna mind my own business and try not to get in trouble. Cause maybe I just don't know what my past life was, and you gotta know what your past life was before you start getting rich or something. It's kind of weird to know what I know and the ways that I know and how you ain't supposed to know you're not rich already and whatever. Okay, because I'm working on making sure none of the shit I was talking about ain't finna be true about getting beat to a pope one day or something. How am I gonna be so smart it don't seem real? I've been to left it there. Oh my goodness. For real. Man, I'm why it don't all seem very real and then I'm gonna fuck up 1 second while everybody might be, should have been telling me the world don't revolve around you, Charles. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm waiting for my dad to normalize again, so I can play those games and watch the ads and make that money, and then play the bigger games with, and then turn that small money into big money. Because sometimes, sometimes the sooner you put some money towards it, the more you'll get back. Sometimes the later you wait, the more you get being. So I'm itching and stuff, and me and Minnie are gonna go ahead and maybe charge up our power bank and use the restroom. And I don't think it's gonna get warmer, but I wanna grab more water anyway, and then I can take a shower with that water whenever. But just to have it to have some whoa. And then 4 o'clock go come around and I'm probably gonna be like, I shouldn't go to get some of that food truck cafeteria food for the homeless or the people that, could use it. And back in 2015 when I had my friends like C and we sang right all the they were giving out 3 trays per person. So I think I just I had a good car, but I just I guess when I took her to get her food, I wanted some for my own, and it wasn't so bad at all. I mean, now now I look at that food as like even more acceptable. But I'm worried about them drugging our food or drugging it just to hurt my dog. Have you ever heard your Asian mom say popcorn? Like, Josh, can you go fix me some popcorn? Like, I feel like eating some popcorn. Well, I think it's when when the drugs that they put in the food will try to make your dog's brain pop until it burns away. And I think where they get popcorn from is a lonely person who's masturbating while their dog's going through some shit like that. And then what makes that silver is if you got the pop and but you not watching porn or doing it. So you gotta watch out for what makes that silver white. Entails with what you're doing, manifest, good idea, wise. If it's gonna drug you and what kind of drug, you know. And then black is like bad idea. Uh, if you are or not gonna die. If it's worse than death, uh, if you don't ever want to go blind, it'll probably tell you how they want to hurt you. How is the opposite of the idiosyncrasy? So I remember back in 2024, I had a maroon trailblazer. Anybody that would have wanted to hate on me in a maroon trailblazer is saying that we don't want to help you never lose. Because maroon would be the people that knew everything there was about a Range Rover without being the Tasmanian devil velociraptor fighter spirit that silver is. Maroon is more like the sit back, be the judge, don't really gotta move a muscle. Or are you gonna absorb the shock? Or or why is that the color of dead blood? Or is it like uh, how you don't want to be electrocuted? Or is it how you don't want the flu, the pandemic virus? Or is it how much your next antagonist is dangerous to you? So you really could turn all those idiosyncrasies into every color. Or or you just worry about silver and uh, how like every once in a while, like why would that silver idiosyncrasy be like a maroon problem? But yeah, yep, in 2024, I think I had got stopped in Bowling Green, Kentucky with Minnie. And it was because I was at a McDonald's and I had some McDonald's in my car already in case some shit like that go down. But I think they magically knew that. They magically knew that they didn't want it to look like that was the food that they served me. So when I pulled at the last window, or the middle or the last window, they told me to circle the building, and I immediately caught on to how mean that was to me, and I took off. And when I took off, a cop had like pulled me over, like maybe a couple of minutes way down the road. Said they're looking for a dark car. Deep down in my mind, I knew if I tell them McDonald's, that they was gonna make do with who they were looking for. They wouldn't tell me. But I told him I was on my way to Columbia, South Carolina that year, that day, that month, and he had a Mexican cop follow up. But before he went and searched my car, I told him, "Hey, I have my dog with me before you know." And I was hoping that before he made the decision to do anything to me, so I told him I just took the exit to get gas because the last gas station I was at closed down. When I went in there to use the bathroom and I went back out to the car and I wanted to go back in to pay for gas, the guy walked out of the store, had it closed. So then I had the gas to prove it. And then so when he pulled me over next to a gas station, I didn't get gas. I didn't need gas. And I kept going the way I knew I was going, like I wasn't confused. And then it was so dark. I didn't want to like run over the curb getting out of the parking lot. So I stopped and thought, and then I found the driveway, and then I kept going the way I went. But I lied to him. I was at McDonald's trying not to get fucked over by whatever they knew about me or the trailblazer idiosyncrasy that I'm kind of almost everything a trailblazer was, including having a dog because I shouldn't be jizzing on men's face for what a tray is or something, or and I trailblaze because I'm not supposed to go to Heart Spring to be a retard, or or how much people hate McDonald's, and how the trailblazer in Bowling Green, Kentucky that night, that year, that color, that year on the trailblazer could have meant that they could stop all of the sabotaging the McDonald's if they found out how much they hate me. So I mean, yeah, I didn't tell them I went to McDonald's because that McDonald's works. They'll make do with whatever, with anything, and they'll think of how they'll get you later, but they'll hold you in jail, and my guess is that McDonald's is for men who never left their childhood taste for eating McDonald's, and they don't have side salads anymore. They don't have McRibs anymore. They don't have the big and tasty anymore. All they got left is, can I get a McChicken with cheese? Come on. So yeah, that was my other example about how much I see it. And then I think they were doing sirens a couple of miles out. I was gonna sleep at a church. They were like scared of the poltergeist. I thought the poltergeist walked through Minnie and shook her, and then I thought they were I thought they poured a big grip of water down the gutter, and there was no rain yet. There was lightning, but the rain hadn't came in yet. And so those police sirens stopped. Like everybody's like psychic or magical, but they can't compete with poltergeist. And then I found somewhere else to sleep. But Yeah, I'm scared of Kentucky because they want to tuck your key, and you shouldn't be shifting the gear into neutral to save you some gas like a cheapskate. 'Cause I think doing that with the gear is like tucking the gear back and forth. So I think idiosyncrasy really works like that, and they'll want you to wonder, So yeah, I'm kind of scared of Kentucky. They had Julie Chrisley separated from Todd Chrisley because of Kentucky. That's scary. I've driven past Lexington, Kentucky, and maybe the time I was in Clinton, Tennessee, because that's the highway you go north from Knoxville. And then there's like Hendersonville and Hot Springs around there, and next thing you know, Blythewood, South Carolina. So I'm scared of Ohio. I'm scared of Virginia. I'm scared of the turnpike in Virginia. I'm scared of Iowa City, but I'm not scared of Davenport or Des Moines. I'm scared of why I'll never go to Cincinnati when I drive through Ohio. And I'm scared of Nashville now because I have to pull off some trickster moves not to to not get hit by a car on my way out of Nashville when that's not where I want to live. I'm scared of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, because my GPS dot be trying to get me to. But you just go straight up the highway. You don't need to take a detour from 400. I think the idiosyncrasy Cape Girardeau means like the snitchy stuff I be trying to rescue people with means a lot more to those hooligans than I think. So if I didn't know who Cape Girardeau was, they were trying to hound me. They had a stop at every intersection, and when I thought to myself, like, I can't wait for that. And then I'm all around the US, so there really is more than one way out of town. And if it's a car wreck, somebody dead, I'm not gonna wait forever. And besides, it would just be uneducated to just be sitting there not knowing what's going on. So on my third attempt out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, I was approaching a neighborhood, the only neighborhood on the way out. I told myself, let me park, turn off my car. Next thing I knew, a cop really was driving behind me within 8 minutes, trying to catch up to my time. And I found somewhere to sleep, and somebody kind of told me that they didn't want me sleeping on their property in my car. I made a video. I think it was the "Can You Meet Me Halfway" Black Eyed Peas song with the teal lights and the stars and the darkness and the low light film, and the back door getting out of the car to see the next morning. And I think I had like a white Alaska coat looking thing too. It's like white and gray. And and then that Equinox was a one-wheel drive, y'all. I don't want no Equinox, no four-cylinder car. It gonna be four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. That the 2025 decade calls you. And And then I want to EV like a Tesla because the Chevy Bolt could pull you out some mud. Any bigger than a Chevy Bolt, you'd better not even park for a second. So, yeah, I think I could have had me a Samsung Galaxy and all this and a DJ dual action cameras for y'all that had seen that. But nowadays, I think those people with farms and stuff are trying to come out. They're all teaming up, making these devices that try to make you a little blind, that try to cringe you, uh, to get you to leave their property. Or if you don't know what that is, then those people will secretly know how much the world would have hated people who put their car tires on the dirt roads with the farms. And so I really know, I unless they hate me, I really know that you don't want to kill you don't want to stop a man from producing jizz by dying, and we can worry about our food resources later. It was more important not to get men electrocuted so their jizz stops making babies or being the the headline of the story. And so I believe that, and I took my chances, and then Wichita was kind of like, damn, these motherfuckers finally, you know, uh, couldn't risk getting any more poorer for how magical people know not to buy from them. Sort of the way I was being sabotaged with Uber. So the you better not go in my house. B, you better get no. Okay, no, I can't. No, cause I even need. Okay, Minnie, hold on, hold on. Yeah. Ah! You know, instead of swatting them, you just wanna. Yeah. Okay. With that bee warning me, y'all, I better not go inside black and yellow Dollar General to be smacked into a retard. Bye.